Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Loliam Camara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. President Barrow on Wednesday held a high-level meeting with Commonwealth Secretary General Shari Ayoko Bachwe and separately with a delegation from the Gambia Women's Chamber of Commerce. The 4th Banjul International Surgical Scientific Conference has wrapped up with renewed calls from medical experts to strengthen surgical systems and improve patient safety in resource-constrained settings. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has concluded a 2-day outreach campaign in Banjul to promote its long-term development blueprint, Vision 2050, with a focus on fostering inclusivity. The Gambia Revenue Authority on Wednesday held the official signing ceremony with 3 institutions for the escrow account agreement ahead of the full implementation of the Revenue Assurance Scheme for stakeholders in the telecommunications sector. At a press conference today, the Global Property Staff Association announced a partnership with Senegalese star Mia Guissé to mark the association's 19th anniversary and celebrate Labor Day with a 2-day event titled Sargal Ligay Kati. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. Thank you for joining us. President Barrow reaffirmed the Gambia's commitment to strengthening international cooperation in key areas such as migration, diplomacy, and democratic governance during high-level talks with Shari Ayoko Bachwe, Commonwealth Secretary General, on Wednesday. As Alio Cisse reports, the president also held a separate engagement with a delegation from the Gambia Women's Chamber of Commerce.
The high-level visit by the Commonwealth Secretary General is part of efforts to deepen cooperation and evaluate ongoing support to the Gambia across key sectors, including governance, elections, and development. Speaking to the media after a closed-door discussion, the Ghanaian-born Secretary General Bochri, who assumed office about a year ago, assured the Gambia of continued partnership in its democratic and development journey.
You are now on the Human Rights Council. Whatever we can do to make your tenure at the Human Rights Council very impactful, we will do. Also, we are engaged with your Electoral Commission, whatever we can do in terms of support to ensure that your upcoming election is also successful and free, fair, transparent, and all of that, we will do. The Foreign Ministry has discussed with us the need for some support in certain areas like migration, areas like a diplomatic academy and all of that.
She also extended an invitation to President Barrow to attend the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting scheduled for November the 1st to the 4th in Antigua Barbuda in the Caribbean, where key decisions affecting member states will be discussed. This has been reinforced by the Secretary General's Spirit Summit video.
Antigua and Barbuda hosts the 28th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting at a time of global turmoil, climatic upheaval, stalled growth, and lower standards of living. It is a moment of opportunity for the Commonwealth to rally round our common values and the common cause of making our democracies work for our 2.7 billion people.
In addition, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister, the Honorable Gaston Brown, has issued a statement saying how much they are looking forward to welcoming 56 countries to their shores.
Our Commonwealth family will discuss, decide, and act together for the benefit of the people we serve. At this pivotal time, it is critically important that we stand together as small states, emerging nations, and developed countries. We rise to meet our challenges. We must deliver for our people.
The President assured the visiting delegation of the Gambia's support in advancing the Commonwealth's vision for stronger partnership aimed at driving economic growth. He urged the Commonwealth to support the recommendations of the TRRC, particularly in providing reparations and technical assistance. President Barrow reaffirmed the country's commitment to conducting a free, fair, and transparent presidential election with support from the Commonwealth. In a separate engagement, President Barrow received a delegation from the Gambia's Women's Chamber of Commerce, marking the body's first official visit to the presidency since its establishment in 2019. Nafi Bari is its president.
It is important since we're undertaking government activity because our contribution goes to national development. We're dealing with women who are 51% of the population, and their concern is the concern of government. So we decided to come today, see the president, talk about what we do and also our challenges.
Madam Bari said they had a fruitful discussion with the president and they now await the outcomes of their discussion. Reporting for Qtv News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The 4th Banjul International Surgical Scientific Conference has wrapped up with renewed calls from medical experts to strengthen surgical systems and improve patient safety in resource-constrained settings. Usman Jada reports.
Bringing together more than 300 delegates, the two-day conference covered 6 surgical disciplines and 4 scientific tracks. The program was designed to reflect the full scope of modern surgical practice, creating space for collaboration, knowledge sharing and innovation across specialties. Dr. Lamin Jaite, the head of surgery at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, outlined key priorities under the Medical and Dental Association of the Gambia strategic plan with a focus on improving surgical outcomes and patient safety.
Where there's a consensus, we must build better registries, we must have stronger record keeping and a culture of prospective data collection. Another thing that stood out in this conference was the multidisciplinary team approach, that we cannot achieve our objectives if we all claim to be local champions in our corners. We need to understand our limitations and reach out to colleagues whenever necessary.
Biomedical sciences emerge as key area of focus, with discussions centered on biomaterials and innovations tailored to low-resource settings like the Gambia. Other sessions explored clinical research, simulation-based training, telemedicine, supported surgical supervision, and outreach program driven by both local and international partnerships. Dr. Janaba Jallo, Vice President of the Medical and Dental Association of the Gambia, highlighted efforts to mobilize resources through advocacy, private sector partnerships and diaspora engagement. She also revealed plans to support the Ministry of Health in establishing a Gambia School of Physicians and Surgeons.
But we would want, for example, if you have 10 general surgeons in the Gambia, how about we sub-specialize? We can have a colorectal surgeon, an oncologist, someone that only specializes in breast. So all these sub-specializations are quite important, and if we come together, we can achieve that.
The conference also recognized leading figures in the country's medical sector, including Dr. Melvin George and Professor Usman Nyan, for their contributions to surgical training and education.
Is it by luck that you are here? And is it by bad luck that the person in Pajakunda is born there? When he's sick in Pajakunda, where does he go sometimes? What schooling does he have? So we are fortunate, and we shouldn't forget that we are meant to serve people and to make sure they enjoy the same thing we are enjoying. If we don't do that, then we are failing humanity.
As I say, I feel very honored and I feel very grateful.
Professor Gabriel Ogun, the acting provost of the School of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences at the University of the Gambia, emphasized the importance of building local capacity through the training of homegrown doctors.
When you do local production of doctors, the cost is cheaper, it's easier, you learn through it, and the good thing is that there is a sharp integration between medicine and dental surgery, because the first 4.5 years, that's an integration.
The conference closes with a shared commitment to deepen collaboration, embrace innovation and strengthen surgical care systems across the Gambia and the wider region. Osman Jata, QTV News.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has concluded a 2-day outreach campaign in Banjul to promote its long-term development blueprint, Vision 2050, with a focus on fostering inclusivity. Jacqueline Colley tells us more.
From Reverend J.C. Fye Memorial School, St. Joseph Senior Secondary School, St. Augustine Senior Secondary School, and Gambia High Senior Secondary School, alongside members of the media. The event forms part of activities marking the ECOWAS at 50 celebrations and is being implemented across member states to boost awareness and foster a sense of ownership of the regional body's strategic direction. According to the ECOWAS Permanent Mission, the initiative is designed to shift from an ECOWAS of state to an ECOWAS of the people by promoting inclusive participation, strengthening political commitment, and encouraging greater citizen engagement in regional integration efforts. Here is Maita Lily French, the ECOWAS resident representative and head of mission, the Gambia.
So we are moving from where we're just in meetings, moving from one state to the other in meeting rooms, but actually moving out and getting a feel of what the citizens want, what the citizens know about ECOWAS, and what they would like ECOWAS to do for them. So now we'll find that most of the projects that we'll do will come from a needs-based perspective, rather than governments or ECOWAS just sitting down and deciding that, okay, well, we think that Gambia needs this. So we actually go into the communities and see what is needed and work on those needs.
Vision 2050 sets out ECOWAS' roadmap for achieving sustainable economic integration, lasting peace, and shared prosperity across West Africa in the decades ahead. It places strong emphasis on people-centered development, democratic governance, and regional stability as its core pillars. Abdoulaye Gassama, Special Advisor on Communications and Public Relations to the President of ECOWAS Commission, highlights the important role the media plays in the ECOWAS Mission 2050.
Because none of these will succeed without public understanding. And public understanding will not happen without you, the media. You have the capacity to simplify complexity, bring regional issues into national debates, and hold institutions accountable. You are not simply reporting on ECOWAS. You are shaping how ECOWAS is perceived and ultimately how it succeeds.
Deita Barra Toure is the head of ECOWAS National Office in the Gambia.
Dear students, you are the heart of this vision. By the year 2050, as the ambassador highly alluded, many of you will be leading government, managing institutions, delivering businesses, and influencing policies across the region. This is why your awareness, understanding, and active participation in the realization of this vision is very important.
The campaign concluded with renewed commitment from stakeholders to deepen regional integration, strengthen citizen participation, and advance ECOWAS Vision 2050 for sustainable peace, prosperity, and inclusive development across West Africa. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Collie.
We'll now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more national news stories to stay tuned. Welcome back, and this is Qtv News, and I am Lolly M. Camara. The Gambia Revenue Authority on Wednesday held the official signing ceremony with SWICPA, Pura, and Vista Bank for the escrow account agreement ahead of the full implementation of the Revenue Assurance Scheme for stakeholders in the telecommunications sector. And Sumane Isonyasi has the details.
The Revenue Assurance Scheme will reshape how telecommunications revenues are tracked and taxed in the Gambia, offering authorities unprecedented oversight into one of the country's most dynamic sectors. At the signing ceremony, Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo said the formalization of this agreement marks a historic moment, attributing recent gains in domestic revenue mobilization to the authority's ongoing digitalization efforts. He emphasized that sustained collaboration among institutions would be critical to the scheme's success and expressed appreciation to all partners involved for their commitment and support.
For the first time, the Gambia Revenue Authority will have access to real-time data on telecom transactions. For the first time in the history of this country. This means we will be able to assess revenue obligations with greater accuracy. And even companies, before the companies file their returns, it will be drastically reduce, this system will drastically reduce under declarations, improve compliance, and enhance audit efficiency.
The country director of SICPA, Mamadou Clarks Jara, and Solo Sima, the deputy managing director of PURA, say the system will not only improve monitoring capacity, but also build trust among stakeholders by ensuring accurate and verifiable reporting, adding that a robust technology-backed revenue assurance mechanism would contribute to a more accountable and sustainable telecommunications industry.
It's an important step. It means stronger systems are now in place to support consistency, accountability, confidence across the Gambia. As SICPA, our role is to provide trusted solutions that support government in managing complex systems in a clear and reliable way.
Allow me to commend the Gambia Revenue Authority for its forward-looking approach, particularly in adoption of the deployment of technology in revenue collection. As the ICT regulator, PURA, has always maintained that technology is not optional. It is central to modern governance. More importantly, we view technology as an enabler, not an impediment.
Vista Bank's managing director, Fatou Jammeh, reaffirmed her institution's readiness to facilitate the scheme's implementation, assuring stakeholders of the bank's capacity to deliver secure, efficient, and high-quality services in managing the escrow arrangements.
Our role here is the escrow account manager. The bank acts as the collecting agent, like I mentioned before, the referee, to make sure that the funds are shared in line with the underlying contract between SICPA, GRA, and PURA. So the bank has the capability to do that. It's not the first time that the bank is offering such escrow management services to key institutions in the Gambia.
As the GRA continues its push toward a fully digitized tax ecosystem, the success of this initiative will likely serve as a critical indicator of the country's broader fiscal modernization efforts. Answane Sonyase for Qtv News.
On Thursday, at a press conference, the Global Property Staff Association announced a partnership with Senegalese star Mia Guissé to mark the association's 19th anniversary and celebrate Labor Day with a two-day event titled Sargal Ligay Kati. Mam Nabuka was in attendance and seen our reports.
Building towards a vibrant blend of corporate appreciation and musical entertainment, the festivities will be held at the Bamboo Village Hotel. The celebration begins on May 1st with a gala dinner followed by a grand dance event on May 2nd, 2026. The Sargal Ligay Kati initiative, organized by the Global Property Staff Association and formed around the Wolof phrase, which directly translates as honoring workers, builds on the purpose of Labor Day and commemorates the excellence, achievements, contributions and rights of workers from all walks of life. The event will feature renowned Senegalese music star Mia Guissé, who will provide premier entertainment and create an atmosphere of joy, celebration and enjoyment that will shine the spotlight not only on nearly 2 decades of Global Property's impactful presence in Gambia's real estate sector, but the workforce that made it possible, along with every other laborer that continues to drive the nation's economy forward. Nilan Faye is the general manager of Global Properties.
It was the first step of our association to come together and say, let's do something amazing. Let's set an example in the Gambia to show all the organizations in the Gambia that we can come together and form something strong, beautiful, and powerful. And for us, the representation of that is this amazing, amazing, amazing artist that is today.
Deifatu Cham, Social Secretary of the Global Property Staff Association, emphasized that the event is for everyone and shared details on where the tickets can be acquired.
It's Workers' Day, it's May Day, it's for everyone, so you're all invited. If you want to buy a ticket for the gala or the dance, you can just come to these prime locations, which is Global Properties Limited. You can also come to Aquaview here, and also at Buy Perfume at Kariba Avenue. Yeah.
Music star Mia Guissé called Gambia her second home and looks forward to being part of such a significant and uplifting initiative.
Global Properties, comme ni ko waxee entreprise nga xamantene mu mag la bu ñu respecté ci Gambia mais ci aduna bi donc tay ñu tànn ma en tant qu'artiste honneur la pour man.
I am deeply humbled that a respectable institution like Global Properties reached out to me for this significant occasion. The Gambia holds a very special place in my heart, and I've built wonderful relationships with the local artists and residents over the years. I am excited to give back to a community I love, and I promise to bring my absolute best on stage. As preparations draw to a close, the Global Property Staff Association is inviting the public to attend and be part of the celebrations. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
The Ministry of Health's expanded program on immunization in the Gambia has joined the rest of the continent in commemorating Africa Vaccination Week 2026, using the occasion to reinforce the importance of routine immunization. Authorities are placing special emphasis on the human papilloma virus HPV vaccine. Yafatugay reports.
This year's theme for Africa Vaccination Week, "For every generation, vaccines work," underscores the role vaccines play in safeguarding people at every stage of life, from infancy through adulthood. Health officials emphasize that immunization not only protects children, but also contributes to stronger families, healthier communities, and a more resilient national health system. Dr. Umi Jain, the World Health Organization's expanded program on immunization officer, has emphasized the importance of human papillomavirus vaccine, HPV.
So, as we observe Africa Vaccination Week, let us mobilize communities, raise awareness, and strengthen trust in vaccines. Let us prevent the disease from lives and promote a healthier future.
The HPV vaccination campaign is specifically targeting girls aged 9 to 14 with the aim of providing early protection before exposure to the virus. Fatoumata Koma, Deputy Director at the Ministry of Health, encouraged adolescents and their families to take full advantage of the vaccine.
The diseases of yesterday do not have to be the diseases of tomorrow. Smallpox was defeated in every generation because vaccines worked. Polio will be next. Cervical cancer can be the next one.
Health authorities revealed that in 2025, a total of 47,208 doses of the HPV vaccine were administered across 7 regions through 102 health facilities nationwide, reflecting a strong and coordinated national immunization effort. Officials further noted that a single dose of the HPV vaccine is sufficient to provide long-term protection against cervical cancer. Sidat Fofana, the EPI program manager at the Ministry of Health, also raised concerns about the growing complexity of immunization efforts, while reaffirming the government's continued commitment to expanding vaccine coverage across the country.
When we started the immunization program, it was children. Along the way, we started with mothers, 1545. Now we are getting to another very important segment of the population, the adolescent girls.
Officials say the target for this year is to vaccinate 11,000 girls. While the HPV vaccine is currently being administered to girls, there are plans to extend the program to boys in the future as part of a broader efforts to reduce the transmission of the virus. As the Gambia joins the rest of the continent in observing Africa Vaccination Week, health experts are calling on communities to support immunization efforts, strengthen trust in vaccines, and work collectively to prevent diseases and save lives. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatugay.
That's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. for more news. Thanks for watching.